Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're looking into the world of boxing and, a new training method that's pretty wild.
Oh.
It claims to be able to give boxers
Oh.
a real edge in the ring, like literally a split-second advantage that could decide a whole fight. We'll be diving into some material about Isotone. It's a new fitness device,
Right.
and it comes with this whole training program meant to improve speed and agility.
Interesting.
So the big question we'll be exploring today is, can technology really give a fighter that knockout edge?
It's an interesting idea, especially in boxing.
Yeah.
Because at its core, boxing is all about speed, agility, and precision. Every single move, whether you're throwing a punch or dodging one, it all comes down to fractions of a second.
Exactly. And the source material we're looking at really hammers home how important speed is. Like, imagine a boxer who can land a punch before the opponent can even react.
Right.
Or unleash these insanely fast combos that just overwhelm the other fighter's defenses. It's all about capitalizing on those tiny windows of opportunity.
I see, and that's where this Isotone comes in.
Yeah.
So it's this portable resistance device, kind of like having a really smart training partner.
Oh, okay.
Who knows exactly how much to push back based on how hard you're going. It could be used for a lot of sports.
Right.
But today we're focusing on boxing.
Let's get into the ring.
All right, so Isotone has developed something called Agility and Speed Training, AST for short.
Ooh, I like it.
This program is designed to make boxers faster.
Okay.
By zeroing in on 3 key areas.
Yeah.
Muscle strength, neuromuscular coordination. Basically how well your brain talks to your muscles.
Gotcha.
And then those fast twitch muscle fibers.
No, those are important, right?
Yeah, they're all about explosive movements.
The kind that delivers a knockout punch.
Exactly. And these training methods, they're not brand new, but what's cool is they're personalized.
I see.
And optimized using Isotone's fancy adjustable resistance tech. They give it like giving traditional training a serious upgrade.
Like putting a turbocharger on it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The idea is by tailoring the resistance to each athlete, they can get bigger gains in speed and agility.
That makes sense. So let's break down Isotone AST a little more. What exactly does it involve?
So there are 2 main types of training in the program. First, plyometrics. It uses rapid stretching and contracting of muscles, like you see with jump squats or box jumps.
Yeah.
All about building that explosive power. Then there's strength training. This is about building strength in key muscle groups.
Makes sense.
Like your biceps, triceps, deltoids, and the all-important rotator cuff muscles.
Right, the ones that give you control.
Exactly. It's like laying the foundation for those lightning-fast punches.
Okay, so the source material dives into some pretty interesting calculations about human movement.
It does.
It talks about characteristic period and dimension, basically saying the average person needs at least 50 milliseconds to move a limb.
Okay.
And that the average distance for these movements is about 9 inches.
So it's like understanding the baseline of human movement. Yeah. Think about it like this. You're reaching for a cup of coffee.
Right.
The time it takes you to do that is your characteristic period for that specific action.
Okay.
And the distance your hand travels from point A to point B is your characteristic dimension.
So if we crunch the numbers based on those averages, we get a characteristic speed of about 10 miles per hour. That's considered the max speed for most movements.
Pretty cool, right?
It is.
But here's the real question. What if we could push past that limit? And that's where Isotone becomes really interesting.
Now you've got my attention.
So picture this. 2 boxers in the ring.
Okay.
Both with a max speed of 8 miles per hour.
Got it.
Now what if, through Isotone AST, one boxer could increase their arm speed by just 10%?
Just 10%.
That seemingly tiny boost would mean they could reach a target 9 inches away 6 milliseconds faster.
Whoa, hold on. 6 milliseconds?
Yep.
That might not seem like much in everyday life, but in boxing, that's a lifetime.
It is. Think about it.
Yeah.
You're in the ring, your opponent's coming at you.
Right.
Being able to react a fraction of a second faster could mean dodging a knockout blow or landing a counterpunch.
That could change the whole fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So even though this is a hypothetical scenario, it shows just how important those small gains in speed can be.
No doubt. It's amazing how these tiny margins can be decisive in a sport like boxing.
Right. Now, before we get too carried away, it's important to remember that this training method is still in its early stages.
Right.
Isotone AST hasn't been tested in a real fight yet, where the pressure is way higher.
Yeah, there's a big difference between practicing on a punching bag and facing a real opponent.
For sure.
Yeah.
But even so, the idea of gaining even a fraction of that 6-millisecond advantage is pretty exciting.
It is.
And it seems the folks behind Isotone are just as curious as we are to see how it works in the real world.
It says here they're looking for a boxing coach to work with.
Oh, wow.
Someone to help refine the AST regimen and test it out in actual fight training.
That's smart. Getting feedback from experienced trainers is going to be key.
Absolutely. So what do you think? Could Isotone AST really change the game for boxing? Could this be the future of training? We'll explore the potential benefits and challenges in just a bit.
I'm ready.
So stick around. Yeah, it's exciting to think about, but like you said, it's still early.
Right. A 10% speed increase on a punching bag doesn't mean you'll see the same thing in a real fight.
Exactly.
A boxing match has so many moving parts.
Yeah.
You've got the opponent's style, the pressure, fatigue, all kinds of things. Speed isn't everything.
True. But even if Isotone only delivers a fraction of those gains,
right,
it could still give a boxer a real advantage.
Oh, for sure.
Imagine reacting just a few milliseconds faster to a jab or dodging a hook a tiny bit quicker. Those little differences could win or lose a fight.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder how a technology like this could impact the whole sport.
Yeah, it's not just about individual athletes. It's about how this could change the whole game.
It mentions in the source that Isotone's creators are already looking for a boxing coach.
Really?
To help them refine the AST program. It seems like they know they need real-world testing.
That's good.
And feedback from experienced trainers.
Yeah, that's smart.
It'll be really important in making sure Isotone AST is used effectively and responsibly.
Definitely. So while there's a lot of excitement around Isotone AST, it's clear we're still in the early stages.
Right.
More research and testing are needed before we can say for sure if this is going to revolutionize boxing.
Agreed. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. This is a great example of technology pushing the limits of what athletes can do.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the future of sports in a whole new way.
For sure.
Okay, we've talked a lot about Isotone and speed, but let's step back for a second.
Okay.
Why is speed so important in boxing in the first place? The source we're looking at gives a good breakdown of how speed affects both offense and defense. What are some of the key things that stand out to you?
Well, on offense, speed is all about landing those punches with lightning-fast precision.
Right.
A quick jab, a hook, a cross, it can catch your opponent off guard, rack up points, maybe even get you a knockout.
And speed can make those punches hit harder, too. Right?
Exactly. It's like they say, speed kills.
For sure. But what about defense?
Just as important. Quick arm movements are key for blocking, parrying, and countering attacks. Fast reflexes let you deflect punches and switch from defense to offense in a flash.
It's not just about single punches either. Speed is really important for those combination sequences.
Yeah, those rapid-fire punches that can overwhelm an opponent and open up their defense.
That's right. And then there's the element of deception.
Oh, yeah.
Using those fast, subtle movements for feints and misdirection, tricking your opponent into reacting to something that's not really there.
Like a high-speed chess match.
Exactly. Every move has to be calculated and executed perfectly.
No wonder they call boxing the sweet science.
It's amazing. You can see why even a small increase in speed can make a huge difference in a fight.
Absolutely.
And if Isotone AST works as well as they say it does, it could change the way boxers train and compete on a fundamental level, almost like giving them a superpower.
Right.
Something that sharpens their reflexes and lets them take advantage of those tiny moments that can decide a whole fight.
And, you know, as we've been talking about, this technology really brings up some big questions.
Yeah.
Like, if it becomes really common, how is it going to affect the whole sport?
Right.
Will it make things more fair, or will it just create a bigger gap between the fighters who have access to this kind of technology and those who don't?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it's something we need to think about as technology keeps changing sports.
Yeah. We have to make sure that trying to improve athletic performance doesn't come at the cost of fairness, integrity, and sportsmanship.
Well said. So as we wrap up our depth dive into the world of boxing and Isotone AST, the big takeaway for me is that we might be seeing a huge change in how athletes train and compete.
I think so, too.
Technology is pushing the limits of what's possible.
Right.
And it's making us rethink what human potential really means.
And what it means to play fair.
Exactly. It makes you wonder,
It does.
What role do we want technology to play in the future of sports?
Yeah.
Do we embrace its power to enhance human performance, or do we try to keep things level, even if it means limiting these kinds of advancements?
It's a big question that goes way beyond boxing.
It does.
It gets to the heart of what it means to be human in this age of crazy technology.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
It's been fun.
It's been a fascinating look at speed technology and the future of sports. We'll see you next time.